All right, so we are in the Boardwalk Park. We're doing a live stream for episode 10. It is complete, so if there's anything if the volume's too low or too high, please let me know. We're just gonna go through a bunch of the parts that we've made. Just doing some cinematics, maybe do Teget Cam, and then a POVs of a bunch of stuff. If there's anything that you guys want to see, right, just if there's anything you guys want to see, let me know. Um, but if we're not gonna, we're just gonna wait a couple minutes, get a couple people in here before we actually start it. So I just move my camera around just a little bit just to let you see what everything is about. Oh, and I also have done a firework display. Um, so that's also something that we haven't done, or haven't seen. I guess you guys haven't seen that. So this is a bit different for me. This is actually my first live stream I've ever done. Um, I want to do this actually at the end of every series that I do. Just kind of live stream and show off the park as a whole. So we are just gonna wait a couple more minutes and then we will get started. You can hear that awesome carnival type music and all the people going and cheering around. That's fun stuff. We'll take a good look at each ride as a whole, as itself. We got a bunch of good stuff. Ooh, wow, camera jolt there. Uh, and then just remember, if you guys have anything that you want to see, just let me know in the live chat and I will uh, talk about it and look at it or something. So I guess we can get started with some kind of just cinematic shots. We'll go into Tajikan in a minute, but so just go kind of down the whole thing. We got our, if I can zoom in on it, maybe. Uh, it's not working. Here we go. Maybe. We got our nice entrance building. We got our information desks that actually don't really get used because there's no fast lanes, but that's okay. They're just kind of more like the pan flips and stuff. And then we got the bathrooms and first aid, and then we also got our staff room on the side, and then we got our big ramp coming up into the actual pier, and then off to the right of that we have our sign that says Geek Pier, and then our go-karts, which we'll come back to later, but it is the Geek Raceway. So moving up into the actual pier, um, if I can raise, I use these different controls sometimes to do different things. This is what we did in episode 1. We kind of did our food court, and we got the chow mein, chow, the pizza pen, gulpy, and our milkshakes. So we did that, and then off to the side we also have our great carousel, which actually isn't that popular, which is pretty sad, but um, I guess it's not that popular, that much of a ride. So that is what we did all in episode 1. So it was actually probably one of the bigger episodes, which is right here. We kind of just did that. Um, I don't know. It's actually really cool just to see how it all turned out. I actually didn't do much detail in this queue compared to the rest of them. But we have the great carousel music and some people on the horses. And then we moved on and we made, in our second episode, the Great Wild Mouse Coaster. And so we'll do all the POVs of the rides at the end of the live stream. So the queue for this is actually pretty, the people like this ride a good amount, I would say. We'll look, oh, there we go. Let's see the stats on this. So the stats really aren't that well. The excitement's pretty low, the fear's pretty low. The nausea's actually really good for this, but the results are not that well, or nothing about this stands out as a great coaster, but it works for a boardwalk. People, 4% of the people say that they want to go on the Wild Mouse, and 2% says that that it has a good-looking queue. So that is good. It is making money, and it's about a 7-minute wait for it. But it's actually doing way better than I initially thought it would. So that's great. But we'll take a ride on that later. And we did do the spinning wild mouse for this, which the reason for that was that the wood, the classical wild mouse, has the wooden supports, and it just kind of looked all jumbled up, and I didn't really like it. So this kind of seemed better, and I prefer the spinning ones. I just think that they're cooler. But then we moved on to episode 3, which we came back out. I don't know. Maybe I think episode 3 was the go-kart track, and the go-kart track we made this beautiful, beautiful track. It's on the little coast here, kind of stays on the beach front. Actually, I should have put some sand. We're gonna do some in-stream painting right here. We'll ride this a little bit later on, I guess, as well. And there's actually a code where you can drive the go-kart track or the go-kart, and I'm gonna try that out. I don't know how good that is. I don't really know actually how to drive it. So we're going to test that out, and you guys can watch me fail. And then if there's anything else you want to see with that, just let me know. But we got our big station with an open roof so that the fumes can get out and not hurting anybody. Oops. And then we have our maintenance shed right up here for any broken cars. And then we have our little person that is making sure that nobody is colliding, and if they do, stopping everybody to make sure that everything's safe. Then we got our little ramp, but that leads to nowhere in this little tunnel. So after this, we did. I think I might have flip-flopped this. This was either episode 3 over here, or episode 3 was the go-kart track. But we did our arcade midway game area, and it actually is working out pretty well. Their feet are a little bit sunk, but that's just because of the concrete. But we got our fortune teller, which is pretty popular. Our claw machine, which is also not as popular as the claw machine, but it's pretty popular. And then we got our 2 shops that look like the ring toss and balloon popping game. And then our skee ball actually has nobody going to it because it is a staff room. But that is just that. And so you can walk through here. Oh, and we also added a restroom that kind of fit in with the Wild Mouse theme. And we have an ATM next to it. So that is basically the front half of, or front third of the park. So that is everything there. And there's an actual roster for the people that set up so you can they actually work in that area only. So there's two staff buildings for that. And then I think this staff building is actually hooked up to the middle portion, which we're about to enter. But so our episode 5 was our flat rides, our first section of it, and we got a lot of good music and carnival area going. So we got this in game. It's called Hellion Ring, but it's actually a I call it like a ring of fire. I hear that a lot more. I like the music for this too. It's kind of really upbeat and fast, but it basically just goes into a big ring back and forth. It's pretty weird, I guess. A lot of people don't ride it because it kind of makes them sick, and it doesn't really seem like the safest ride. But then over to the right, across the little path that we have a chair swing. I don't know. I know it as like a Zephyr or something. I don't really actually know what they're called, but it's actually surprisingly super, like, it's not very popular, which honestly I find these to be pretty fun. The ratings aren't all that well for it, but I guess people don't like it as well. Can I see people's thoughts maybe? Nope. Okay. Well, it doesn't want to give us the people's thoughts, but yeah, it's not that popular of a ride, which is pretty surprising. And we're kind of moving into nighttime, so you guys can kind of see the nighttime glow. And here's the. Oh, never mind. I missed it. Here, let me show you the nighttime of the front really quick. Set that. So we put this spinning thing here just to kind of give it a little bit of extra feel to it. And then it's pretty warm colors, really orange over here. Nothing really else. Then we got the electric blue and white for our go-kart track, keeping it lit. And then kind of moving back over here, we got the classical carnival colors, a bunch of lights and stuff. So that is just like that. And we'll go back here. So moving, that is the first half of our 5 rides. And we have our 2 vending machines. We got some pip shot, which is kind of just, I think it's a juice. And then we have our candy machine, which are actually doing pretty well. And then to the left again, we have our scrambler. In game, it's called the Scissors. That's from the Magnificent Rides collection. And actually, a couple days ago, maybe about a week, they dropped the Classical Rides collection, which is basically like the same type of thing. It's just different rides. Some people consider it like a Magnificent Rides 2, but that is really cool. They have some pretty weird rides that I've actually never seen before. So that's obviously always cool to see as well. But the queue for this ride is surprisingly has nobody, which is weird. Only 1% of people say that it's a good value, which is surprising. I actually like this ride. I think it's pretty fun. But then we move back across, and we have this kickflip, which is very popular. And this is another one of those really weird carnival carnival rides. And they just kind of flip you over the top, and it's kind of nauseating. Is that a word? I think that's a word. But it's pretty fun ride. And then we're done with our first area of games. So, not games, rides. So 2 are pretty popular, and then the other 2 aren't that popular, which is pretty sad. And then, oh my, okay. This is a very big problem. I don't know what happened here. I guess the diner is either very popular, why can't I get in there, or something, because this is insane. Okay. So I think it has to do with our entrance. Well, I guess that doesn't really work as well as we wanted it to, but I guess that just kind of happens. So it's a big bottleneck. Nobody can get in or out, and I don't know why people There's a security guard stuck in here. I don't know why people won't just... Oh my gosh. Oh, well. Okay, well, we're going to have to look at that. I'm going to have to look at that off stream, because that looks like a serious problem. I might just have to extend the path over here some. Oh my goodness. All right. And then, so after we get past this really bad clog up, we get to our fun house, which was one of my, if only my only indoor ride that was like a trek ride. And so it's not that good, I'll admit that, but it kind of fits the boardwalk theme with it being run down and stuff. And then we have our little theming with a vending machine. And then this actually is a very popular ride. It had the queue is practically full all the time. And then so we have the 4 rooms, the picture room, the water spout room, and then up here is the haunted area, and then down here is the illusion area. I don't really like it, but I guess the people do. So, and I guess that's all that matters, is if the people like it, then we're good. But then we come to the back of the park, which actually doesn't have that much people in it, but it does because everybody's in the queue. So all the rides back here seem to be pretty popular. This Dodge 'em or bumper cars is really popular. The line's really long. If we see how, the test ratings aren't all that good, but 8% say that it's a good value, and 5% say that they want to ride it. So I guess that's pretty good. And I found this demolished car. Kind of looks like it went through a demolition derby, so I kind of stuck that in there. Then we got our little popcorn machine for the stage, but we'll talk about that in a sec. But a fun fact about this, I actually tried to make a bumper car out of art shapes, and it did not go as planned. I think I mentioned that in the 9th episode where we were creating this, but it was insane. It didn't look how I wanted it to. And then we have a restroom stall here, which really doesn't fit this theme. I just kind of plopped it there. That kind of is like that. And then you can move down here to a not popular ride, surprisingly, but it is the Ferris wheel. It's really big, and it's one of those ones that are like the swinging ones. I don't know what it's doing. I guess it's waiting for somebody to load. But the queue's empty for that. And then down here we have our staff room right off the exit, and then our little exit sign. And then we got a hot air balloon, which actually has a time, like it's a moving object, but I set it to a stationary timer. So that's nice. And then coming to the other side, we have our 2 rides over here, which both of these are really popular. This ride, which I will never ride in my entire life, it's pretty full, but if I pause it, sped that up a little bit, it has a chain link fence, or not fence, but a chain link supporting your chair, and it's like one of those lap bars that are connected to the chain link, and then it goes like 200 feet high, and it's like the scariest thing ever. It's so unsafe, and it's so high, and I don't understand why people will ride this. And if you are one of those people, I am sorry. This ride scares me to death. I do ride it once in a while because just not to be like a wimp, but I totally understand if you are one that are scared of this. But if you do, you're a little bit weird, in my opinion. But that shouldn't be bad because being weird is good. Anyway, so it just goes up and then it goes back down and it does the spinning, and it's really windy and it's scary. But enough ranting about that. So enough about that. The queue, I actually picked this up. I off of watching other people do Planet Coaster videos. You just make these little stripe things out of art shapes, and it actually looks really cool. So that is that. And I also did that pattern over here just with different colors for the Ferris wheel. And then over here, this is a fun ride. I don't know what it's called, but it just goes in a loop. It's almost like the Ring of Fire, except it's like two-sided, and there's a lot of people. There's a lot more people it can hold, and the queue for this is pretty full, I would say. Um, it's not, and it's all covered too. So there's some shade over here, and I guess back here is more of a you have more budget to work with because it seems like it's a bit more thought out than over here where it's just a bunch of plants. There's actually covers for the and like a little bit of scenery. But then we did our very last ride in this park, which is our boat ride with very minimal theming. Literally, you just come down the stairway and you're on this deck. And then these little pillars are those things where the deck can bob up and down with. So very minimal theming here. We have two boats going around, and I actually put this in so that you can just it's supposed to be instead of a helicopter ride because I feel like those are very popular and common in a boardwalk. So we put this instead, so you can just kind of sit back and relax and just take an adventure with the family and just go around the back of the park. So that is the very last ride we did in the last episode. And then we also made this stage, which I'm going to hop over to nighttime for. Let me do that. And then, so these rides also have the lighting. This one, the one that I said I hate, this, I don't know what it's called actually. It's called a sun flare in the game. I know it as like a wind seeker from like a Cedar Fair park. But this is very well lit, but I still won't ride it. So then we got our Ferris wheel. That's really nice. And then so our stage, we have a bunch of different colors. We have our little area where you can't go, so like the band can get away and rest. And then we got our little entrance with the "Do Not Enter." So that is practically it for back here. So that is the back hat or the back third, and then we got our middle third, and then our entrance area. So it's a pretty large park, honestly. Compared to other people's parks, it actually doesn't have that much stuff. But really, I'm okay with that because the frame rate is really good. It's not really glitchy on my computer. Um, so that's nice. But I am gonna do another park, and it's gonna be a Western themed park, and it's gonna be. I hope it's gonna be really good. I have it really planned out in my head, and I've done a lot of things on paper for it. So I really hope that it turns out very well. Um, and I don't think that I'm gonna put this one on the Steam Workshop, just because it's like this was like my first park, just to get used to building a whole park. Because if you've seen my other videos, I have done more of the uh, what do you call it? Just regular one rides instead of actually doing a whole park as a whole. So um, moving on, we are gonna ride some of the rides. So, oh, let me get out of this. We're gonna start off. We're just gonna go down the pier, I think, and we're gonna ride the go kart track last, driving it. So, if you have anything else that you guys want to see that I haven't shown you, just let me know in the comments. But I also before the very last thing that we're gonna do, I have this little timer thing, and that is going to be the fireworks display that I created but didn't really show since it was so crazy. And right here, if you can see, if you look close enough, you can see all the little firework things. They didn't really look good poking out, so I just lowered them. But we are coming through. We're going to ride the first ride, which is the spinning wild mouse coaster. So let me pause the game here and get into our front seat down here and play. Oh, let's move over a seat. How about that? So we're in the middle. All right, we'll just let that run really quick. So I don't know how good the how good the operations are. But here we go. So we're gonna go sharp turn and then up. And then we don't actually start spinning till halfway through. So I actually like that, how this is kind of just an introductory area, just kind of getting used to the roller coaster, and then it gets all crazy at the end. And then we got the details right here just to make it look more realistic. And then it gets really crazy here. It really whips you around those corners. And then not much detail on the ground there, and then you just kind of spin back into the station. So there is the ride there. That is our Wild Mouse coaster. Oh, and then something with that. We actually did this in the episode, but I made these little stairs just to you kind of just walk down here if you drop something. It's really unsafe though. They have to like close down the ride, but they will do it. So that's always great. And then there's also another entrance for like employees to do maintenance and stuff, or grab something that dropped over here. You can go through this gate and get in there. So we have done those two things, or that's only one thing. So moving on down the pier, we are gonna ride our fun house. After we get past this crazy bottleneck, I don't know why that is so crazy. It might be, I just should probably just expand that. Oh my gosh, that is so weird. So we are gonna come here, let this pause so we can get in here. Actually, let's pause this, okay, and then let's go here. And what I'll do in this is I'll try and move the camera to every angle to where you can see it, but or so you can see everything. It is kind of hard. I tried to do it in the POV for the POV in the episode we created this, and it was actually really difficult to do. But we're gonna try it anyway, and so here we go. So we got just a bunch of creepy pictures, I guess. So we gotta come all the way over here. I think this area is a bit rushed to me. Oh, and then over here, I kind of left it blank just to give it that feel that it was a low budget and they really just couldn't continue it. They kind of just had to finish it. But this is probably the best area. Oh, well, I guess not because you get hit with a lamp. But this is my favorite area of the whole ride. I think it turned out the best. And then we come down here and it's crazy. And you just get whipped everywhere. And then, so you see that, and then you just come into a pillar room, and then you're done. So it's a pretty crazy ride, I guess. I would kind of find it a little bit boring. But I guess it's more of a family ride, something for the kids to do, and then the parents can do it as well since they won't get sick. But I don't know why there was an empty car since it's such a full line. But so that is our second track ride. We only have 4, so I'll just do a little bit of a ride in this boat ride back here. This is definitely a family ride, maybe for the older folks. We're just gonna go from back here. Let's go into a chase view, maybe. So this ride is just somewhere where you can just sit down and relax, look at the sea. I was debating putting in like some like sharks and stuff, but I figured that it's low budget and the park probably couldn't purchase all that. So I just taken a little bit, and plus you get the birds pecking at the water if you saw that. Right down back there. And so that's animals, I guess, but I didn't place those. Those are just the game. So, oh, wait, can I move the guy? Nope, I don't want to. Oh, that chug. Oh, there we go. So, you can kind of just look at the boardwalk from down here, see how the tide is and all that stuff. There's really not a lot of scenery. Ooh, they had a glitch there. It's just kind of a nice ride. So I'm gonna stop riding this ride now. That's good enough. But so something we did, we put in these wooden things, and these wooden things actually are there and they are supporting it. I didn't like just having a bunch of these gray pillars. So that's also something you can see from this boat ride. And this came in the adventure pack, I think it was. And this is awesome. It's actually placeable in water. The other one is the one that you can place out of water. It's in a little, like it's kind of like in a river rafting ride. But this one actually fits a lot more, fits better, I think. But enough on that. So those are the 3 rides, the flat rides on the whole pier. So now we're gonna move into our um, Geek Raceway, which has a crazy queue. Um, and I also changed all of the amounts of money that you have to pay for these rides. And this one, I think you have to pay $10 per ride on this. But oh, I didn't mean to click on you. So I learned this trick. Just kind of looked it up. But if you name the thing, the go kart track Bollard, then it will let you drive the go kart. So I'm gonna give that a go. I don't know how it's gonna work. I guess somebody's on their victory lap, so we'll speed this up a little bit. Um, I think you use W to go forward and S to brake. I guess we're gonna figure it out. Uh, d- and then your D and A to like, um, turn. And it's really easy to like, oh, I spun out and stopped. It's really easy to like crash, um, like spin out and stuff. Oh my God, I'm going so fast. I'm like braking like crazy, and you can probably hear in the background a bunch of skid marks or skidding. Oh, there I did. I spun out. Oh my gosh. Um, but yeah, it should be on 2 laps, so we get to go through this twice. Um, I try not to crash. It's actually really difficult. You kind of just have to keep tapping a bunch of stuff. Ooh. And then in the video for this, I actually didn't drive it, just so you could see the whole. Oh no, 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 we skid again. Um, but I didn't do it as a as I was driving it. Wow, I can't talk. Oh, and I won. I just won that. So anyway, I had the CPU drive it so I wouldn't spin out, and so you guys could get the full experience. But I won, and I just got an achievement. You can probably see that, and you probably just saw that in the top of the corner of the screen. I didn't know that you got an achievement for that. But we're just coming on our victory lap, and then we're gonna park. So it's pretty fun. I didn't. It's kind of hard, but it is weird. I did start in #1 spot. You know what? I'm gonna do it again in last place and see if I can win, because that would show if I'm actually a good driver. So, hopefully this is actually probably the star of my creation here. Oh, nobody's driving in this car. No, come back. Oh, that's a rip. All right. Well, while that's happening, then I'll just before we go and do that. Oh my gosh! Wow, that's a lot of notifications. Just let this run for a sec, and I messed that up. Wow. But then after this, we're gonna go and we can see all this beautiful lighting. But we have to watch our firework display. And this firework display actually took a very long time to make, but I'm pretty happy with how it came out. I believe somebody got in our car. Okay, so let's drive this then. Oh, tire spin. Oh my gosh. Oh, crashed. Um, so I guess it's way harder to do it in last place. Every time you crash though, like it stops you, and you have to like oh. Yeah, I guess it's because I was in first place. That's why I won. Get out my way. Um, yeah, this is way harder in last place. Oh, I keep crashing into that yellow car. Oh God, glitch. But I'm really actually really happy with those little lamp posts. Oh my God, come on. They kind of just give off light in the dark. Oh my gosh. Well, it looks like I'm coming in very last place for this ride. Oh no, get past. Okay. Maybe I can not come in last place. Maybe. Oh, somebody already won. Oh, that sucks. So when somebody already wins, I guess you can't control it. Yeah, you can't control it when somebody wins. All right, well, that's good to know. I didn't come in last place, though. There is somebody behind me, I think. Let's see. Yeah, there's a couple people behind me. Wait, one of them was last place, though. This guy. All right, so that is way easier in the front than in the back. I just probably really bad at this. That's why I didn't win. But we are gonna go and watch our fireworks show, and then that will be the end of our live stream. Hopefully, I did everything you guys want to see. Make sure to let me know right now before we end the thing, so I can check on it. Um, Other than that, let's switch over to nighttime so we can see um, the fireworks show. So I'm gonna come back here, and I'm gonna. I think this is a good area. I would say maybe. All right, let's click play and watch this. So we just got a bunch of fireworks going, and we got the Geek, which actually was made in the episode, and then Pier, and then Planet Coaster. So, thank you guys for watching this. This is the 10th episode, which we just kind of did a boardwalk walkthrough of this park. Hopefully you guys want to see that next one that I do, because we are going to be making a Western park, and I've actually already started it. So make sure to stay tuned. We will be coming with that in a couple of weeks, couple of episodes. So I do have a couple of um, regular roller coasters for you guys. I actually made a mini park that is going to be featured. So stay tuned for that. And in our Western Park, we're going to do a lot more cool stuff. So make sure to stay tuned for that. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe. But I'm sure you guys have already subscribed. So I will talk more about the Western Park in that episode 1. But until I see you guys again, thanks so much for watching this series of the Boardwalk Park. And it is time to say, oh no. It is time to say goodbye. Goodbye. I almost said the wrong word. Something's wrong with my keyboard. Goodbye to Geek Pier. And we can take a picture right here. Alright, thank you guys for watching. See ya.